Hi everyone, this is Master Matt, and today we're going to be going over the circle roll with slap as well as the circle flip with slap. This is a continuation from the last video when we learned the sideways break fall. You mainly see this technique used anyway with the circle roll or the circle flip, perhaps in a self-defense technique when you're being flipped over somebody's body and you have to break your fall while one of your arms is trapped against them. But we also just use this for demonstrations like diving over a target and breaking our fall afterwards, or things of that nature. So make sure you watch the last video on the sideways break fall, as well as the circle roll video, which I've linked both of those in the description, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So assuming you already know how to do a circle roll, and you already know how to do a sideways break fall, all we're doing with the circle roll slap is putting the two of those together. So we're going to enter our circle roll motion from a standing position, starting with the right side, and we just want to end up, instead of getting up on our left knee, we want to stay down on the left side of our body. So just like we talked about in the sideways break fall, is with the shoulder, the hip, and the knee all planted on the ground, and we want to slap in front of us. So we're going to go ahead, step with the right leg, roll, and we're going to slap with the left side of our body. Okay, now make sure we are slapping in front of us. Sometimes when our momentum takes us forward, we kind of slap behind us, but that slap is not really taking the impact off where our body is. So we want to slap next to our body to take that impact away. And also, a lot of people make this mistake, as I've talked about, of coming up on their elbow because they're so used to getting up from the roll. But we need to train our bodies to stay down when we come out of that roll. And again, on the left side of my body, I'm going to be slapping on the right. So I lead with my left hand, left leg, and I slap on the right. And I want to remain flat for a few seconds to see if there's any adjustments that I need to make. Make sure that your whole body is flat and that you don't have to change anything. Simple enough, right? So now that we have that flat rolling motion with the slap taken care of, we're going to go ahead and add air to our technique. But first, let's make this a little less scary with this. Perfect. Now that we have our crash mat, we can add some air to this technique. So just like the other break falls, we're going to be just jumping with the same fall, with the same, this time on our side, slap to break that impact. So a few things to keep in mind with our circle flip is when we go into this technique, we do not want to be going downwards. It's our instinct to jump downwards because it keeps us closer to the ground, and that way we feel like we're not going to get hurt. But it's quite the opposite. We want to be looking out when we're doing this technique. Okay, we want to give ourselves that time to rotate our body and be flat. That way we can fall in a flat motion. That way we're not going downwards and starting with our shoulder and then rolling onto our slap afterwards. So I'm going to lead with my right hand and right leg, and I want to be looking forward when I'm doing this technique. And the other thing to keep in mind is to give yourself lift in this technique. You're going to take that opposite leg that you're not using, which is now my left leg in this case, and I want to lift that. Okay, that's going to kind of propel my body into the air. So again, that I have time to flip and I can land in one piece flat. And finally, along with that leg lift, we're going to use our leg that we are using, which is my right leg here, and we're going to push up and propel with a jump. So that combined with that leg lift is really going to help me pick my body up so I can do that roll in the air and come down in one piece. So I'm going to start with my right side looking forward, left leg lifting up, right leg pushing up. So it's a lot of moving parts. That's why we need to practice on something soft like this to where we can get our mind around it before we do anything dangerous. So with the right side, I'm out and landing on my side here. So now with the left side, the same thing. I'm going to be looking forward. I want my right leg this time to lift up behind me, and I want my left leg to propel up, to push me up in a jumping motion. Roll in the air, slap on my right side. So here we go. So I've seen this roll taught before with using both of your feet to help break the fall. So our slapping side, which is left, is hitting the ground, but my right leg would be hitting with the foot at the same time. I personally don't like that because I feel like that's just a way for you to hurt your ankle with the impact that you're taking. I think the side of your body is plenty enough to take the impact of your fall. So what I do with my right leg here is I just keep it in the air to keep it completely out of the equation so I don't risk injuring that. So remember that this is called a circle flip. So I want my arm to be moving in a circle from front to back behind me, and then this leg moving in a circle over me, and in turn my whole body moving in a circle. You should be able to take a picture of your body in midair that you're already in that slapping position before you've hit the ground. You already want to be ready. That way you're hitting the ground all together, and your body is just so ready because you've done it so many times, and you don't have to worry about anything hitting first or last. So one more time on each side, I'm stepping out. So that is our circle roll slap as well as the circle flip with slap. So all these break falling techniques are really nice and important skills to have in your Hapkido training. But these positions do not come naturally to us. They're not what our body naturally wants to do when it's going towards the ground. So I emphasize that you need to practice these regularly and consistently. And it does take a long time, so you have to be very patient and you have to endure a lot of mess-ups. So you do need something that allows you to mess up a lot without discouraging you with injuries. But when that situation does present itself and you're forced to rely on your memory in your training and you can't pull up the video in the middle of you falling, so you have to have this already in your back pocket, you're going to be thankful that you practiced this. And I can tell you from experience that things like this do happen, outside of the classroom, just falling while walking, tripping over something that you didn't notice was there. These things are really important for you to have so that you're not putting yourself at risk for injury or relying on luck. So practice these often and with caution. Thank you guys for watching, and keep training.